Hey guys, and welcome to the Season 3 Week 1 of the GPC. Now, before we begin, let's talk about my opponent. For now, you're seeing the team builder screen. I'll get to the battle in a bit. I don't know if you want to see team analysis and the battle separately, but for now I'm going to keep it the same, especially for this one, because the showdown replays aren't working, so it's an instant replay, and so it might go a bit quicker than usual. Now, my opponent was Bob, also known as Zargex, and call me 911. All the links will be in the description, of course, to his Twitter, to his YouTube, I don't know, to his MySpace if he has it. But he was the victor last season, and that's quite a daunting thing to face on your first ever week in League play. But I didn't want that to discourage me. Quite the contrary, I wanted it to be something that would motivate me. I wanted to show the whole league that I am a threat, that I can play to the highest of standards, and that I can beat even the best of people. Now, the battle has already happened, no spoilers at all, aside from maybe one little coin of advice that I will say at some point. But for now, let's just get on to the team. First thing I wanted to bring, and I knew I wanted to bring, was Chandelure. Now, on Bob's team, he has a lot of things that are weak to Chandelure, but he has a lot of things that can stop them. The main thing being Manaphy. That was the biggest problem to my team aside from Alakazam. He's got Manaphy, Alakazam, and those were the two things that were really scaring me. Bob is very proficient with Manaphy. He's taken it, I think, the last 2 seasons. I don't know if he had it season 1, but it's definitely one of the things that I associate with Bob, and that I don't like seeing him bringing against me. The particular spread I brought had specific speed with Choice Scarf to outspeed Alakazam, Kanoko with Shadow Ball, of course. The coverage is to hit pretty much everything on his team, and Clear Smog is specifically if he brought Calm Mind Manaphy. The reason being, I can get a Clear Smog off and then switch into Electros, for example, and just sort of stop it from setting up on me. Next up, we had Mega Scissor. Now, this thing puts in all the work against his team. The spread is very strange, I know, but I'll get into why I spread it like this and what I was doing. First of all, I didn't want to go a negative speed nature because it's got Tailwind, and after Tailwind, this speed, and I think it was to Tailwind in this speed, and if I had a minus speed from whatever move it could be, I still outsped Modest Manaphy at max speed Modest Manaphy with the Tailwind up. That's that specific speed spread. The special defense was to live a HP Fire from Alakazam after 2 rock switch-ins, because Bullet Punch does a solid amount. The defense was to live, I think it was 2 Earthquakes from Haxorus at +1. Of course, pretty much max HP, and the rest was in attack just to get more damage off. I brought U-Turn Bullet Punch just for the stabs, and U-Turn is a very good thing against his team. Bob doesn't deal well with momentum because he doesn't have many momentum gainers on his side, aside from maybe like a Scarf Manaphy or something. I think it gets U-Turn. But yeah, nothing much can switch in on the U-Turn that wants to really take the hit, and then doesn't want to take a hit from anything else on my team. So it was very, very useful to have those 2 moves on. Roost for longevity's sake, and Tailwind to hopefully have something clean up in the end of the game. And that thing that I was banking on was Terrakion. Now, I made a last minute switch, which was possibly one of the worst decisions I'll make all season, was putting Life Orb on. I initially had Sash, but I thought if Tentacruel inevitably would drop this game, it's got no recovery, so I thought Rock's control could be a difficulty. So I thought to myself, there's no point bringing Sash if I have to switch it in on Rocks, and I just get OHKO'd by Zam or by Manaphy anyway. But this is sort of a spoiler, but I managed to keep Rock's control. I'm not going to go into it any further, but Life Orb still does a lot of damage, and it's not a bad item to run, but in this particular situation, Focus Sash would have been better. I had Sword Stance just for late game cleanup, Stone Edge, Close Combat, and Quick Attack. Quick Attack was specifically for Zam. At +2, I do OHKO. providing he's not focus sash, of course. Speed was specifically to outspeed Jolly Manaphy, max attack, and just the rest in HP. Yeah, overall I think Terrakion can put in work on his team after I clean up maybe Rhyperior if we brought it, or Skarmory. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. Now, Tentacruel was specifically to check the Tailblow Manaphy. It's got enough Spadef to live a psychic, 2 psychics from Focus Sash Alakazam. It's got enough defense to live 1 Psyshock from regular Alakazam. It's got 8 in speed to avoid him speed creeping me a bit, and the rest in HP. Rapid Spin for Rock's Control, as I said. Scald to, well, because it's Scald, it's one of the best moves in the game. Giga Drain for Manaphy for Rhyperior, I guess. I can always recover HP on that. And Toxic Spikes. Now, this was a change I made later on in the planning. We did it only yesterday, so it was a very long process. Bob isn't always available, neither am I, so it worked out best for us to do it yesterday, which was Friday, so we had plenty of time to prepare for this one. And I initially had Acid Spray in case he brought Carmine Manaphy, but then I thought to myself, he doesn't have much in terms of hazard control, and my team lacks recovery aside from Scissor, so wearing his team down could be a very valuable thing, and it could allow me to gain more momentum. So that's why I brought it. I think both moves have their merits and both moves had their benefits, but Toxic Spikes was wasn't a particularly bad choice. Now, here comes the cheese. This Electros does very well against this team. Bob's team isn't a big fan of a lot of electric types, especially electric types with grass coverage. And this thing did a lot of work to his team. I brought Acid Spray for what's it called, Aromatisse if he brought it, but I didn't think he would. Volt Switch just for momentum, of course. Giga Drain specifically for Rhyperior and maybe Manaphy, I guess, if I get it low enough. And Acrobatics, no item with this attack investment, 2 hit KOs, max HP Venusaur with no defense. And I brought Quiet Nature because I didn't want to take off one of my defenses. This was possibly a mistake. I should have accounted for Tailwind speed to maybe outspeed Venusaur or Manaphy, but that's just how it is, I guess. Maybe could have taken some out of defense. But yeah, this was the thing that I wanted to. Oh, this was a surprise factor. If he brought in regular Venusaur, and I got max damage on that, and then he synthesized up, and then I got max damage again, I had a chance to Oko, and that is insane. So that's why I brought it. It could have been the surprise factor. It did end up doing a bit of work, but I think Assault Vest could have been better, maybe to deal with his Manaphy. But overall, this coverage beats a lot of his team, and it's a very strong one against his team. And finally, we have Mesprit. This was to deal with Alakazam. It's got enough to Spadef to live. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 Shadow Balls from Focus. I think it's 1 from Life Orb, and then I Oko with U-Turn with this attack investment. Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave for Alakazam or Manaphy or whatever needs to be slowed down. Zen Headbutt for Venusaur, and U-Turn just for momentum again. This team is very heavily based around momentum gaining, and I think that's one of the strongest things to bring. It deals with a lot of his team. I can't remember what this particular speed investment was for. I think it's just to outspeed Manaphy with no speed. Is that correct? Yeah, it is. It's to outspeed Manaphy with 8 points in speed in case he brought a bulkier one. And I could maybe Thunder Wave it or U-Turn out if he's wanting to score me or whatever. So this was the team. And yeah, I think I planned pretty well for this. I spent a lot of time. I didn't spend too much time deciding on what mons to bring, but I spent a lot of time deciding on the items, the moves, and the EV spreads were all calced out, of course. And so I think on that regard, I did a pretty good job. And let's see now how well I do in the battle. I'll transition magically over through the power of editing. Hey guys, and welcome to the battle. These are the teams that were brought. You saw my team in the team builder, of course. And let's go over Bob's team quickly. Alakazam and Manaphy are I knew they were coming. They were both very big threats to my team, as I stated before. Murkrow was something that I had in the back of my mind, but I really didn't expect him to bring it, to be honest. But I had plenty of things to deal with it. Mega Venusaur, of course, which I planned relatively well for. It doesn't do that much work to my team. Aromatisse, I wasn't particularly expecting at all. I really didn't think he'd bring it, but as I said, I had Acid Spray on Electros for it. And Empoleon, which was another thing I didn't expect him to bring, but I guess he needed Hazard Control, and that's one thing that Empoleon does bring to the table. Now, before we get in, as I said, this is an instant replay. I'll be pausing and playing thanks to VLC, so you'll see this little player thing pop up from time to time, but hopefully that doesn't get too annoying. I think it'll annoy me more than you. Right, without further ado, let's just get into this. Now, he leads off with Venusaur, as I lead off with Mesprit. First things first, I knew it couldn't OHKO me, I knew it didn't have that much to hit me, so I just wanted to get it by rocks. I get it by rocks, as I said. He Leech Seeds me and misses. So that's a great start to the season. Hacks going my way, and then straight after I miss and he hits. So basically it's as if turn 2 never happened. I decided to U-turn out thinking he'd switch, but he doesn't. So I don't know what he's going to go for. I was kind of expecting like a Sludge Bomb maybe, or a Giga Drain. And so I go into Electros, and he reveals the Earthquake. Now that's kind of confusing. I guess he expected me to switch out maybe into Tentacool to get the Liquid Ooze. But Electros deals with this alright, as I said, with the Acrobatics, and he definitely did not expect it, as I managed to get it off the next turn. He misses once again the Leech Seed, and I get off the Acrobatics, and that was a very fun thing in chat. Everybody was going crazy on the side. And so I Volt Switch out, knowing that he, without speeding, would manage to get a Synthesis off. And I go straight back out into Mesprit. This is one of the worst plays I made. I didn't want to overpredict, but I should have really gone for the U-turn. I went for the Zen Headbutt, obvious play, and Murkrow gets a free switch in. Here I didn't know what set he was going to bring. I was kind of expecting the Prankster T-Wave set. I don't know if he had Prankster in the end, but he's definitely an offensive set, as you'll see. As I try to switch out, he pursues me, he has a Life Orb, it does a lot of damage, and there goes my Alakazam check straight away. I switch out into Scizor because it will literally take 0 damage from it, and I can just Mega Evolve and U-turn out and do a whole lot to it, or to anything that wants to switch in. So Empoleon takes a good bit of damage. I mean, it's decent. Oh, what the hell just happened there? I don't know if my recording is fucking up or if it was showdown as it happened. Oh, there we go, it's better. So I switched into Electros. I wanted to see what kind of set it was, because the U-turn damage is very low, and it could have been either physically, especially defensive. As I Volt switched out, so it had some Spadef investment, but it wasn't full, I don't think. Either or I got like a max damage roll. But that's good knowledge, and I decide I want to get rid of the rocks, but here I thought he'd predict me to Rapid Spin and go out into Alakazam, so I go straight for the Scald. He doesn't. I guess this not having any recovery, I think he just decided to sack it off. So I set up T-Spikes on the second turn, just trying to get a bit cheeky, and here I thought again he'd switch out into something, expecting the other T-Spikes, but he didn't. Should have maybe Rapid Spin in hindsight, but now Alakazam switches in, and as I said in the team preview, it does so much to my team, and the only thing I had for it was Mesprit and partially Scizor. Mesprit, he just kills it off. So he has Psyshock, that's good knowledge. He doesn't have Psychic, he has Psyshock, and I believe Chandelure with its little bit of HP investment can live one. So I knew he was going to switch out, he's not going to stay in, so I go for the U-turn again, gaining all the momentum in the world, and here was the biggest misplay of the game. Well, not the biggest, but it was a big one. I switch out into Chandelure. A Flamethrower, if he was Max Spadef, had a chance to kill, and if he wasn't Max Spadef, he had special attack or attack investment, or defense investment for that matter. Shadow Ball had a chance to kill as well, and I didn't want him getting his free switch into his Manaphy, so I go for the Shadow Ball. It doesn't kill if he was fully specially defensive, which if you watch his team builder, he was. That was a high damage roll, there was no chance of me killing if it was. And yeah, that was possibly the biggest mistake. If I went for Flamethrower, I had a chance to kill, but sadly that wasn't the case. and he manages to get off an Earthquake, which he already revealed earlier. Spadef drop doesn't matter at all. And I just want to kill this off, so I just hit it with another Shadow Ball. And once again, another big misplay. He has either the choice to go for Pursuit, predicting the switch, or Shadow Ball, or Sucker Punch, predicting me to stay in and go for the an attacking move. And I thought he'd predict me to predict the Sucker Punch and switch out and go for the Pursuit, but I over-predicted basically, and I just took a Sucker Punch to the face, and there goes my win condition. On the switch, I just decided to go out into Electros. It's got a decent matchup against this whole team, and that Sucker Punch hurts, man. That was, it's either Adamant or just full max attack, but it did a whole lot of damage. I just wanted to momentum, and I decided to Volt Switch out into this bad boy, because it basically matches up very well against the rest of his team. Nothing can OHKO me, aside from Life Orb, Alakazam with HP Fire. So now, I know he's got a fire move on this. He has to deal with this. If he's going to bring in Aromatisse, he's got to be able to deal with Scissor partially, and so I just U-turn out, into my Tentacruel and take the HP fire like a boss. And I get the Rapid Spin off, not wanting to take rocks damage on anything that switches in, and he reveals the Trick Room. Wow, that was not something I was expecting at all. I could understand him bringing a Spadef Aromatisse to deal with Hydreigon if I decided to bring it, but I didn't. And yeah, Trick Room was not something I had prepped for at all. Electros was very slow, which was kind of a benefit to it, but I knew it definitely wouldn't outslow this, so I didn't want to bring that in. I just have to sack off this. And now, Bullet Punch had a 3% chance to kill if he had 114, I think it was, defense investment that I tried on the calc. And I don't get it. I think he had more defense. Oh no, he had the berry, that's right. He had the berry to take it. He used HP Fire, but it's weak as anything, and I managed to get the little bit of damage necessary off. And in comes Manaphy, and I knew he was going to go for either Tail Glow or Calm Mind, so if he went for Calm Mind, I would have been alright. I roost up this turn. If he went for Calm Mind, I'd be alright to get a big hit off next turn, and I'd set up a Tailwind, get a big hit off, sack off Electros, and then clean up with Terrakion. Because I knew he was going to be Calm Mind, he wasn't going to bring Tail Glow against the Tentacruel. So that's what I thought. He does go for the Calm Mind as I roost up. Oh yeah, that's right, I had Trick Room up, so I knew I could live a Scald either way. And here, I go for the Tailwind, knowing he's going to score me. I take it because I had the investment, and I get burned. And I mean, it didn't really matter per se, but it kind of ruined the plan that I had at that point. I wanted to Tailwind, U-turn out, sack off Electros, and then clean up with Terrakion, but it just wouldn't do enough damage. So I set up Tailwind, and here he basically has a free Calm Mind or whatever he wants to do, because I'm going to die to burn anyway. I didn't see the use of keeping it around. So I Bullet Punch, and if you look at the damage, it does 7%. Multiply that by 2 if I wasn't burned, and then by 2 for the non-resisted. I would have done 40%-ish to Manaphy. Oh, I'd say more like 35% to Manaphy, which is decent damage, I guess, but it wouldn't have changed the outcome of this game at all. He sets up the rain, and here I know that it's pretty much over. I go into Electros with the Tailwind up. I don't outspeed. That's why I said the speed investment could have mattered. And then Terrakion comes in. If I was Focus Sash, I could have lived this and got a second hit off and made it a 1-0 instead of a 2-0. But as you can see, as you saw in the team builder, I brought Life Orb, and yeah, that's the end of the game. If I got the 40%, the 35% off, I would have killed this. But it doesn't matter because his Alakazam was Sash. So after all that, Bob ended up claiming the victory against me. Not particularly surprised. I didn't go into it expecting to win, but I went into it wanting to win. I think I showed that I am a competent battler. There was a few misplays there, especially with the Chandelure on Murkrow exchange. and that bit at the end with Sizzle, where I should have U-turned out really and sacked off Electros. And also, I should have sacked off Electros I should have sacked off Electros in the first place to Aromatisse, and then switched into Scizor instead of losing my Tentacruel. But that's all in the past. I think I played decently well all the way through. Bob definitely deserved to win. His team had a good... I think we both had good matches against each other. It wasn't down to the team that he brought, he just played slightly better than me. He clawed back the momentum at the end of the game with that Trick Room. Wasn't expecting it, caught me really off guard. And yeah, so I guess I should thank you all for watching. That starts us off with an 0-2. It starts us off with a loss and a differential of -2. But I think we can come back from it. Next week we face Omega, who is a competent battler. He beat Chris, whose team was the one that I'm most afraid of, and he showed a lot of prowess in that match. So it's going to be a good match anyway. I think this was a great start after the season, even though it was a loss, even though it was a 2-0 loss. I think I showed my true colours. And yeah, on that note, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.